Hello everyone, welcome to my Florida Driver's Manual tutorial with Selena and Pimpus. Any of you that have been following my automotive series, you know Selena is the name of my mom's car. She's just recently gotten repainted. So anyway, Florida Driver's Manual with Selena and Pimpus. Yeah, see, I was so proud of myself I figured out how to do sound effects with PowerPoint. Now, the only thing is that this presentation is being presented on my broken computer, and I'm only hoping it'll last as long that I can just get through it and without it crashing on me. Okay, so, and I know there's a little bit of a glare from the sunlight. I'm sorry about that, but let's get going, shall we? Okay, so here's Professor Selena. A good driver focuses their full attention on driving. They never take their attention off the road for more than a few seconds at a time. They are always on the lookout for unexpected events. Remember, it only takes a second for an accident to occur. Bad driving habits. Now, unfortunately, sometimes we can't always avoid these, but if you can, because they can alter how well you drive, try not to drive when you are sick. Try not to drive when you are upset or angry. Don't eat or drink while driving. Don't talk or text on a mobile phone while driving. And people, that is really important. You don't. I can't tell you how many people do that. Don't drive when you are tired. Don't do anything that takes your attention away from traffic, which means putting on makeup, you know, things like that nature. Now, of course, sometimes you can't help. You know, sometimes you're driving or you have to go to work when you're sick and all that. But, you know, it's not really a good idea. Things like driving and eating, aside from the fact that they can interfere with you, you know, handling the car if something unexpected happens, you also have to think about, well, you know, you've heard of cases where an orange falls and it gets behind the accelerator or the brake thing and it causes an accident. Another thing is if you did get into an accident and you had food in your mouth and all that, you could possibly choke. So there's a lot of reasons why it's a good idea not to do a lot of these behaviors when you're driving. Your life and other people's lives are in your hands. And you see here, you tell his mom you only look down for a second. Okay. And this message actually was about, you know, no text and all that. Before you turn on the engine, make sure all windows are clean and nothing blocks your view. Adjust the seat so you can reach all the controls. Adjust the inside and outside rear view mirrors. You should be able to use them without leaning forward or backward. Lock all car doors. Put on your safety belt and have all passengers do the same. Make sure your car is in park or neutral gear before starting the engine. Before moving the car, check in front, behind, and to the side for pedestrians and traffic. And remember, cars have two sides, so, you know, be sure to look on right and left. When you are ready to move, turn on your signal and pull into traffic when it is safe. Yeah, okay, yeah, I used a little bit of Eric Cartman for this. This is not a warning. No whining, no excuses. If you don't buckle up, you will get a ticket. It is the law. The seatbelt law applies to all cars, vans, and pickup trucks that have been made from 1968 to the present. All passengers in the front seat must wear a seatbelt. All passengers under 18 must wear a seatbelt or be in a federally approved child restraint seat. Violations of the seatbelt law is a $30 fine for an adult passenger and $60 if a minor is not properly restrained. The seatbelt law applies at all times, even for quick errands. Pimpus always makes the wrong decisions. Pimpus, by the way, is just something I created. There's no car he's based on. Anyway, Pimpus here is sticking out his tongue and saying, I think seatbelts are stupid and totally uncool. But Professor Selena, who's smarter, says, why do I need to wear a seatbelt? And she's going to tell you why. Seatbelts protect you and your passengers from being thrown from the car. That's not a good thing. Or being thrown from the car is not a good thing. The seatbelt keeping you from being thrown in a car is a good thing, yes. Risk of death is 5 times greater if you are thrown from a vehicle. Seatbelts keep drivers and passengers from being thrown into each other. Seatbelts keep the driver in their seat so they can control the car. And you know, when I was talking about earlier with the bad behaviors, you know, about eating and all that, you know, you've heard on some of these freak shows where they talk about a man that has a, you know, I don't know, a pencil shoved up his nose and it goes into his brain and he survives and all that. So, of course, sometimes these are kind of bull and all that. But as I said before, particularly if you've got airbags, any object that's in front of you, whether it's food, your cell phone or something, might possibly get lodged within you. So I know I'm kind of jumping off the seatbelt thing, but there's seatbelts are good, and there's reasons why you don't do they tell you don't text and try not to eat and so forth and so on. There's a lot of good reasons. To put it another way, this is your head. You see the pumpkin there? Okay, and then that is your head after you get thrown from a car. And remember, they couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Child safety seat requirements for infants. Infants under the age of 1 and weighing no more than 35 pounds should be in an infant-only rear-facing child safety seat, or a convertible child safety seat turned to face the rear of the vehicle, installed in the back seat. Some of this wasn't actually in the driver's handbook, but I found it interesting, so I included it. Child safety seat requirements, ages 1 to 4. Children between the ages of 1 and 4 and weighing between 20 and 40 pounds can be in a forward-facing only or convertible child safety seat or a high back booster or harness installed in the back seat of the vehicle. Safety seat requirements for children's ages 4 to 8. And I didn't even know that there was safety, seats for this age. Children between the ages of 4 and 8 can be in a high back or no back belt positioning booster installed in the back seat of the vehicle. If the child is under the age of 8 but at least 4 feet and 9 inches tall, a booster isn't required. Child seats. What do I need to look for? Make sure to check your vehicle manual to find out how to correctly install a child seat. You may want to check with a manufacturer to see how long they recommend using a car seat. Car seats actually have expiration dates. I didn't know that. And they also claim that some vehicles are not compatible with certain safety seats. If your child doesn't fit into the car seat despite his weight and age, it is not the right seat for your child. Try another brand. Model and manufacturer date. These are the things you'll need. Model and manufacturer date so you can check for recalls. Instruction manual. Don't throw it away. Checked for cracked or missing parts. Make sure the warranty is still valid. This is mainly why a lot of them do have expiration dates. Never buy a car seat that has already been in a crash. Are second-hand car seats safe to use? Now they just said, well, don't buy one that's been in a car crash, but here's something, if you use a second-hand one. A second-hand car seat is safe to use if you can check off each statement at the right. All of these statements, not just a few of them. The seat was never involved in a moderate to severe crash. The seat has labels stating date of manufacture and model number. You need this information to find out if there's a recall on the car seat or if the seat is too old. The car seat... okay. The seat has no recalls. If you do find a recall on the car seat, you should contact the manufacturer as some problems can be fixed. The seat has all its parts. If the seat is missing a part, contact the manufacturer as some parts can be ordered. The seat has its instruction book. You can also order the instruction manual from the manufacturer. When a car seat needs to be replaced. NHTSA recommends that car seats be replaced following a moderate or severe crash in order to ensure a continued high level of crash protection for child passengers. Car seats do not automatically need to be replaced following a minor crash. Defining a minor crash. A minor crash is one in which all the criteria on the right are met. The vehicle was able to be driven away from the crash site. The vehicle toward nearest to the car seat was not damaged. None of the passengers in the vehicle suffered any injuries in the crash. The airbags did not deploy in the crash. There is no visible damage to the car seat. Safety belt defense. In some states, the amount a plaintiff can collect in a lawsuit can be reduced if it can be proven that they hadn't been wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash and that their injuries could have been prevented if they had worn a seatbelt. Seatbelt laws differ from state to state. Statistics. Motor vehicle crashes are the leading cause of injury-related death among children ages 14 and under. 50% of children ages 14 and under killed in motor vehicle crashes were not safely restrained. If all children under age 5 were placed in child safety seats, approximately 50,000 serious injuries could be prevented and 455 lives would be saved annually. About 75% of motor vehicle crashes occur within 25 miles of home. Most crashes occur in areas where the speed limit is 40 miles per hour or less. Motor vehicle crashes occur in rural areas, which are often more severe. Children are too small to be protected by a safety belt alone. A child is not ready for a safety belt when they outgrow a car seat. A child should use a booster seat until they are 58 inches tall and weigh 80 pounds. Only then can they graduate to using a safety belt alone. Common mistakes in installing or using car seats. Safety belt not holding the seat in tightly and or not in locked mode. Harness straps not snug and or routed correctly. Harness retainer clip not at armpit level. Locking clip not used correctly. Car seat recalled and not repaired, includes booster seats. Infants placed rear facing in front of an active airbag. Children turned forward facing before reaching 1 year of age and 20 pounds. Not making sure safety seat is compatible with your type of vehicle. More statistics. More than 25% of children ages 4 and under are unrestrained in motor vehicles, which makes them twice as likely to die or get injured in a motor vehicle crash. About 85% of child safety seats or booster seats are improperly used. Children ages 12 and under who are seated in the rear seat of a passenger vehicle are 36% less likely to die in a motor vehicle crash. 1 in 4 children ages 13 and under rides in the front passenger seat, increasing the risk of injury and death. Properly installed and used child safety seats can reduce the risk of death by 71% for infants and 54% for children ages 1 to 4. Child safety seats can also reduce the need for hospitalization among children ages 4 and under by 69%. 95% of children ages 4 to 8 between 40 and 80 pounds who are supposed to be using car booster seats are improperly restrained. It's the law. All 50 states and the District of Columbia have primary child restraint laws, and drivers may be stopped for violating those laws. Airbags save adult lives. Due to a child's size, an inflating airbag, which inflates at 200 miles per hour, can strike them in the head or neck, causing serious and possible fatal injuries. To keep your child safe, never place them in front of an airbag. Small children should preferably ride in the rear seat. If the child must ride in the front seat, move the seat as far away from the airbag as possible. Some vehicles do offer the option to switch off airbags. Another thing about airbags, which I read when I was reading, I'm a geek, I'm kind of a nerd, so I always read, manuals and instructions and all that. And another thing is that airbags, if I remember, they released this, how they inflate is by some gas that can actually be kind of an irritant to your respiratory system. And it also supposedly, I don't know if it's flammable, but it can cause heat. So they claim that sometimes you can get burned and all that. So, even adults, you have to be kind of careful around airbags. Cargo areas are not safe. Children are 10 times more likely to die in a collision if in the cargo area of a pickup truck. Being thrown out of the cargo area during an accident is the major cause of death. More than half of the deaths of passengers in cargo areas are children and teenagers. Covered cargo areas pose an additional risk for carbon monoxide poisoning.